Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today I'm back with another video here. Unfortunately, the Flyers lose this game to the Ottawa Senators and really get outplayed for a good chunk of it. The shot totals were really not good. You had 5 shots through 40 minutes, and I didn't think the effort was certainly there. That's very clear. I thought there were some good moments in this game. 46-11 on shots on goal for the full game, including the overtime. And it's unfortunate because this comeback was kind of sparked by the young kids, and it would have been nice to kind of finish that off, where you basically did nothing for the first 40 minutes of this game. Had a horrible first period, like horrific first period. Shots were 17-2. It reminded me of the game in Seattle, where the Flyers lost that game 6-2. Had 2 shots that first period, were absolutely horrible. So lines in this one: Farabee, Frost, Tippett, Lawton, Cates, Allison, Van Riemsdyk, Hayes, Lemieux, Delorier, Legzinski, and Bellows, Provorov and York, Sanheimer, Stolainen, Sealer, and D'Angelo, and Felix Sandstrom was in net. He was fantastic. I didn't love the first goal. I thought he was really good, and obviously, the turnover at the end is just unfortunate. You could throw that into the category for Torts of that's, the one goal that he needed to not give up, and that's unfortunately what happened. Again, like I mentioned, first period was really all Ottawa. The Flyers hit the post early, Van Riemsdyk, and then D'Angelo on the rebound. Van Riemsdyk hit the left post, D'Angelo hit the right post, and then after that, the Flyers had Jack for the rest of the first period. Power play for the Senators. Lemieux takes a penalty here. Batherson absolutely ripped one wide. Drew had a pass in front to Pinto that went wide. The Sens had some looks. I didn't really love the Flyers' penalty kill, but it's crazy. The Sens are 6th best power play, 8th best penalty kill, and find themselves out of a playoff spot. It's very strange. That's what happens when you start so poor at the beginning of the year in the NHL. You can't you give yourself no room to come back. Kastelik scores 1-0. He scores 5-0. I didn't love that goal for Sandstrom. Like I said, he overcommitted to the push on the other side. And once he couldn't get back and ended up rolling through him. It was a tough play because he got a little bit of it, but it ended up going through. Flyers had 2 shots with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. The Flyers still had 2 shots. I mean, it's not good enough. And unfortunately, the offense, like I talked about in recent games, has actually been able to kind of outscore their problems. And the Flyers actually kind of did that later in this game because they just started to wake up in the third period and they played better. And the problem with the first period was that Ottawa won just about every single puck battle you could think of. So second period starts, and a couple really good saves by Sandstrom at the end of the first. Goes into it. Giroux was stoned. Then we go into the second period. It's Flyers power play, and D'Angelo ties the game 1-1. It was a great shot. Good power play overall. I thought they moved the puck well. I thought Morgan Frost had a good game tonight. He was on this power play, he had some chances to get some shots off, and the one got blocked, and there was another one later in the third, 5-on-5, where he could have got the shot off, but kind of like what I was talking about, it ended up getting blocked. And it's things like that. If you can get the shot off quicker, you probably could see some more results, or some point results, I should say. Because I still think you are seeing results, even though the puck isn't going in. You're still seeing, improved play and stuff like that away from the puck, defensively, 5-on-5, everything. So overall, it was a good power play, and again, I also like Frost tonight as well. And D'Angelo ties the game at 1 here. It was definitely a better start to the second, and then here come the fights. York had some ice, ends up getting checked going up offensively. I wish more York would do that often. And then the next play gets hit by Watson because of the D'Angelo hit before that on the Brinket, which I didn't really think was that bad of a hit. So Watson runs in from center ice and hits York. Okay, so there's that. Then there's the fights. Before that, the Sens would score. Stutzla, it was a tough play. Fourth line was kind of stuck in the offensive zone. This was the second time in the game that line was stuck with the Giroux line out there for Ottawa. And Stutzla, slam dunk. Tough play for Sandstrom again. I mean, it was tipped. Couldn't get the rebound. And ends up going in. Farabee and DeBrincat fight. Pretty good tilt for the two of them. The Laurier just beats up Watson. And then Castellic wants him after that. Then they almost go. So Delorier gets... he goes back to the room. The Flyers just couldn't do anything offensively. Too many men penalty. Pretty good penalty kill. Then another one. 3-1. Tough play. Not much Sandstrom could do. He was kind of left at the dry. Unfortunately, Derek Brassard gets hurt. And you hate to see that. I mean, Brassard last year, I actually really liked Brassard. In the games he played, he showed a lot of emotion. And he was very... you could tell he really liked to be a Flyer, I think, in the games that we saw him. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way with injuries and everything, and he was hurt for a good while here. Just really unfortunate, because he was one of them guys that, you looked at going into next year, okay, or going into last season, I should say, you're like, all right, depth guy, Flyers sign him for pretty low salary at that point, and it was just like, all right, let's see what he can do. And he's bounced around the league a lot. Obviously traded from Ottawa for Zibanejad, and that trade did not work out well for Ottawa, but overall I really do like Brassard. It's unfortunate. I hope all the best for whatever comes from it. The 5 shots through 2 periods was the fewest since December 4th, 1968 for the Flyers. So they broke a record and then ended up tying this game. Giroux would add one, though, for Ottawa to make it 4-1. Cam York makes it 4-2. Noah Cates on the power play 4-3. Owen Tippett 4-4. And suddenly we're tied. I mean, let's start with the York goal. Beautiful shot. And I don't know if Frost was trying to pass it or do a toe drag. It looked like kind of a mix of both. Maybe he was going to, do the toe drag and then cut the opposite way and find York crashing the net, or he was going to take it and do whatever else, maybe shoot, I'm not sure. But it ends up getting deflected. York, beautiful shot. I mean, beautiful. I mean, from the angle that they showed on the TV, you could clearly see that York didn't have much room any other way. Picks his spot, rips it 4-2. Flyers get a power play, couple good saves by Sandstrom. After this goal and before he stoned Tkachuk, Cates would make it 4-3. They've had Ristolainen just bombing away at the point, and it's been working. You had the goal against Minnesota that Ristolainen scored. You get this one now, deflected off of Cates and goes in. So 4-3. A little lucky bounce. Flyers are back in the game. A couple really good saves from Sandstrom. Stops Giroux on a breakaway. Then Batherson. Consecutive breakaways, and that's part of the problem. Is like you have chances where you get 2 goals. York, and then you get a power play goal when your power play hasn't really helped you for most of the season, and then you give up 2 consecutive breakaways. It's like, what the hell are we doing here? So that's part of the frustrating part too with this team, is that there's moments where they look pretty good, and then there's moments where they just look horrible. And I had a feeling that the offense, again, like I said, they've been able to outscore their problems, but they've been, every time they've gotten so hot, they've dried up like it's nothing. And the offense has been really ebbed and flowed throughout the season. The month of January, they scored a lot of goals, and then February, they struggled to score. And now they had this, last couple of games, and really the entire homestand, they scored a lot, and they went on the road, and it took them a while to kind of get back into it. But they would tie this game. Everything what I'm saying, they're kind of shutting me up. 4-4, Tippett scores. A beautiful pass by Morgan Frost. And beautiful play. I mean, it reminded me of the pass that he had on the tying goal by Konechny in Arizona back in January. And it's such a nice play. I mean, it's just in the corner, fine, just like the hockey sense behind it. And it's little things like that with Frost. He's winning the puck battles. He's winning, board battles too is really the biggest thing. You can tell he's more engaged in the offensive zone, not just trying to make plays, but even in the little things like I'm talking about. And that's just another example, and it ends up going in the back of the net. And for Tippett, who's had a really good season overall, he had the empty netter the other night. Overall, he's had a really good year. Again, that's his 23rd of the season. Clearly, he's pretty much going to get 25 for the year. He would need 2 more goals over the next 8 games. So, there's that too. And I think for Tippett, it's the little things too. I mean, he's engaged defensively, he's engaged offensively. The good thing about this game was that even though you struggled to score and struggled to really even generate anything, shots, I should say, you still found a way to come back. And that's part of the main thing here. And the best part about it is that it was done by the young kids. Cam York, Noah Cates, Owen Tippett, obviously Frost, like I talked about, had some points as well. It was led by those guys, and that's the main thing. Unfortunately, the overtime was the overtime, and Sandstrom gives up the goal, but I'm trying to look at the bigger picture here, because I think that's more of the main thing with this, is all, the younger players have been able to contribute, and you've seen that, and the end of the season has been pretty good for this team in terms of younger players seeing improvement and putting up points. That's been the main thing. They've been winning, which is good at the same time, because you want to build that, but also obviously everybody knows it's the lottery too, so it kind of goes hand in hand. So let me know your guys' thoughts below. Again, got a big week coming up, content for this week. For Tuesday, we got the show at 6:00 as well, as always, so come for that. It'll be a great time. And then we're doing a watch party for Tuesday night's game in St. Louis, Flyers taking on the Blues. So stay tuned for all of that. Thanks everybody for all the support. Then we also got obviously a couple more games this weekend, so stay tuned for those game recaps as well. But yeah, thanks everybody so much for all the support, and I'll talk to you all again soon.